And here you can see, here we have the data. Okay, so here we have the data about the block number we have taken from here. And if I expand this, as you can see, it took a lot of time because this data is coming directly from mainnet. Okay everyone, hope all of you are doing great and welcome back to yet another video. So in this video we're going to cover every single thing about ethers.js, that how you can utilize it in your web3 applications, what are the feature and functionalities provide, and how you can communicate with your Ethereum blockchain node with the help of this ethers.js package. Okay, so that's what we're going to cover, everything from A to Z about the functionality it's offer, and that the way you can easily able to fetch the data with the help of this ethers.js package. Okay, so here you can see that I have already opened the documentation of ethers.js package. So currently we are using this version 5. You can see this latest version we are on, and we are on the home page of this ethers.js file. So what is ethers.js? So it's basically a JavaScript library which allow you to communicate with your Ethereum blockchain nodes, and that's what it's written here. It's provide you an ecosystem of blockchain, so you can easily able to communicate with your front-end application with blockchain nodes. So here are a couple of features they have listed here, and we're going to explore each one of these. So some of these features are in more technical terms which not make sense to you if I start explaining on this, but for a quick overview I just want to cover few of them. Okay, so they also provide a provider, so you can easily able to use this ethers.js and use it provider to connect it with your Ethereum blockchain node. So these are the providers options you have. Like the one I'm going to use is this Infura or Etherscan, because it's very simple, and I've never used this actually, but I work on this Infura and Etherscan, and they also provide these ENS namings and a lot of functionality. Let's come down, and here you can able to find every single thing about ethers.js, because this is the complete documentations, all the function which you can call. So they have explained everything about the ethers.js, that how you have to install ethers.js in your application, whether you are using the React or Next.js, or you were using simple HTML, CSS, JavaScript website. Everything they have explained about the installation process. So this is how you can simply click on get started, and here you can run a couple of commands which allow you to install the ethers.js in your applications. So we're going to cover every single thing in detail. Okay, so they have explained that how you can install it. So this is how you can simply run npm install and save ethers.js. So this will save it as a globally, okay, as a dependency, and this is how you can import in your projects. And if you are using HTML, this is how you can do it, and if you want to use it as a script, this is how you can do it. And they have a couple of more options. So common technology, provider, signature, contract, which we're going to talk about in detail. Okay, so let's come back here, because if I start explaining right here, the things will get very complicated. So this is the installation process, importing, that how you can import, which we have seen already. Common technologies, so we have also seen that there is a provider, signature, and contract. Then this is how you can connect to Ethereum with a MetaMask. So here they have explained the code, that how you can connect. So as you can see, first you have to do is to install this ethers.js, and this is the function which you have to call ether new.provider.web3 provider, and this window Ethereum. So this is how you can connect with your MetaMask, and this is how you can request the address for MetaMask account. So we're going to talk about it. I will show you practically that how you can do it, and this is how you can connect with your Ethereum RPC. So this is how you can do it. Here you have to provide the provider, so this will connect with your local host, and this is how you get the signer. So let's do one thing. Instead of explaining everything right here, I'll take you to my Visual Code Studio, and where I will install the ethers.js package, and we're going to cover every single functionality ethers.js provides. Okay, so let me open my terminal. Okay, as you can see here, I have my terminal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Next.js project. Okay, I'm not going to use a simple React, but I will do Next.js. So I use CLS for clear my terminal, and now what I can do, I'll type npx CRE. Sorry, let me type npx create create next app, and I'm going to create in my root directory. So this will take a little bit time to install and create all the packages of Next.js. As you can see, the installation process is already get started. So let's wait for a little time. So let's give some time to our React, so our Next.js, to download all the packages. As you can see, we have a node mod folder. So as you can see, we have node module folders here, and we have package.json files, and here it's initializing. So just bear with me. We're going to have a lot of fun in this video because I'm going to tell you every single thing about ethers.js and how you can use it in your actual project. Okay, so that's all I'm going to cover. So here you can see that the installation process is successfully created, and it's create a couple of files. So we have a get file, node modules, page, public, style, ESLint, git ignore, a next.js config file, JSON files, and this read file. Okay, so we have a lot of files here, and this is the command we have to run to run our application. So let's see how it's look on the browser. And let me do one thing. Let me clear my terminal. And simply paste this, type npm run dev, and it will initialize your application on local host 3000. So simply press Ctrl and click on this. It will open the application in a new tab. As you can see, it's opening. So just wait. So here I have opened the application which we have just created in my browser in localhost 3000. Welcome to next.js. Okay, so we don't need to focus right up here. So what I can do, I can come into my applications, and before we move ahead, let's do one thing. So what I will do, I'll come here and I will open this file, and I will simply delete it because I don't need all these files. I'll go to the pages and I will delete this API, this folder, and I want this file. Okay, so this is my app file, this is my main file, and this is my index. So what I can do, I'll simply bring this down. I can select all this and I will remove it. I'll simply type RAFCE. I want to create a React function based component. So this is a function based component, and here you will type today I am learning ethers.js. EVERYTH, everything. So I like to give this kind of name, and it's not a variable, it's taking as a variable. So let's remove it. Okay, let's save it, and let's come to the browser, and here I'm getting compilation error. Okay, so let's see what it says. So loader is not defined in index.js, not a big deal. And let's do one thing, let's bring this up and just see what's happening. No such directory or directory open. So which one is, so it's successfully compiles. Let me reload one more time, reload it, and here you can see today I'm learning next.js. So whenever you get this kind of error, do one thing, simply stop the browser and restart your application. This will fix your problem. Okay, so instead of this, I will take a let's make this h1 because I want to make it look good. Okay, and in this I will paste it. So it's now it's in big, and let's come here. What you guys are here for. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll open the new so what I will do now, I will open a new terminal. So here we have one more terminal, and here I will simply clear it, and I'm going to install the ethers.js package. Okay, so for installing, I have to type npm I, or you can type simply install, both will work. So I will say ethers, okay, with s, and hit enter. So this will install the ethers.js package which we are seeing right up here. Okay, this is the package we going to install. Okay, so let's see, the package is installing successfully. So just wait for a little time, and let's close this folders. So the installation process is successfully completed, and as you can see, we have installed 99 packages are looking for funding. Okay, now don't need to worry about it. Let's come back to the old terminal, and here if we go in package.json file, and here you can see that we have installed ethers in our application. So it's version 5.6.9, and that's version is right up here. Okay, let's come back and let's go to the documentation. So what we have done, we have successfully installed the ethers.js package in our application. Now what we have to do next, we have to import it. Okay, so what I can do, I'll come to my ethers.js scan into next index.js, and here I'm going to install the and here I'm going to import my ethers.js file. So I'll say import, take this bracket, and I'll say ether from ethers.js. So here I have imported my file. Okay, now let me show you the power of ethers.js. What are the things you can do? So to use this, I'll do one thing. I'm going to import a couple of things from React. Okay, So first thing I want to use state. I'll take use state, and I will also take use effect. So these are the hook I'm going to use it. As you can see, use means it's a hook. Okay, and let's come here inside this, and what I can do, let's take a let's take a current account. Okay, so I'll say use state snippet, and here we'll say current current account, and let's come here and simply remove this current account. So we have this one. Currently I'm getting this error, what it's saying, returns a stateful value and a function to get update. Okay, not a big deal. So let's remove this. We're going to come back later here. So what I can do, I need an account, so let's come here, open a new tab, and type simple Etherscan. So let's come to this website, and here you can able to find everything about the Ethereum blockchain. As you can see, how many blocks are created and how many transaction is happening in every single block, when the block is get mined, and who mined that, how much money he got when the person is created the block. So that's all transaction you can able to find. So if I click on this very first one, and here you can able to find the details of the account. So he has a lot of ethers in his value. As you can see, this much money he has, and this is the token. And here you can able to see all the transaction which is happening inside this Ethereum block. Okay, so pending Ethereum net, and here you can able to track the values, tax fees. So all the things are displaying right up here. Okay, so but the one we are interested in, this account. Okay, that's the account we're going to use it and to fetch the data. So let's click on this save. So here I have the account. Now come here and let's go back to Visual Code Studio, and what I will do right now, I'll take a variable, I'll call it address, address, and I will assign this value as a string. So this is the actual address which is coming from mainnet. And you can do one thing, let's come back here, and here we have installed that. Let's come to the documentations, and to use it to fetch that information from Ethereum blockchain node, Ethereum blockchain network, we need a provider. So that provider can be, so here you can see, here we have an options of provided API key. If I click here you have a couple of options. So there is a one provider which is called Etherscan, and you can use it in Infura, you can use it, these are the networks it's offer. So you can use Hotspot, Ropsten, Rinky. So these are the test network which you can use it for testing your contract. Okay, these are the providers you can use it. But what I will do, instead of using this Etherscan or any one of this provider, I'm going to use a default one which Etherscan provide. Okay, so if you still confused at what these providers are, you can simply come here, and what I can do is you can simply click on here, and it will redirect you into this Etherscan, and it's provide an API. As you can see, you can use this Etherscan API to fetch all the data. As you can see, all the data which you can see right here, all this data block, and inside the block all the transaction which is happening. So you can see all these transactions, so size, gas fees, limit, and all this data you can easily able to fetch, and you can create your own Etherscan website. You can create an entire clone of this site, and you can easily able to see all the transaction which is happening inside a single block. If you click on this, you will have a entire transaction details which is happening in this entire block. So this is how you can fetch the information about Ethereum blockchain and track every single thing. And you can do it very easily by using the Etherscan API. All you have to do is click here, and you will come to this API documentations, click on this, create your account, and from here you can easily able to use all the endpoints. So as you can see here, they have given a couple of examples. So if you want to fetch the data about the accounts details, so you can simply target this endpoints. So here you have to provide the API key, and here you have to do the changes, the address, and there is a lot of methods which I'm not going to cover right in this, because if I start explaining about this Etherscan API, this video will get very long. Okay, so it's self-explanatory. You can easily able to come and you can see what are the functionality, what are the API requests you can make, and what are the endpoints you can call. So they have a couple of examples, and you can explore that. But I will go with the default one. I'm not going to use any one of these provider, because by default it's Ethers provide you this Etherscan API. But the only problem with that API is that you have a limited number of requests. Okay, if you're not using any provider, then in that case you can make a limited number of requests. So that's what you have to keep in mind. So here what I want to do, I have my address, so I'll take another variable, and this time I call it provider, OVIDER, provider, and I will say new. Here I will call ether dot providers, and in this I will call it Etherscan. Simply type ethers. Okay, Etherscan provider. So this is the default provider I'm using, and if I console log this out, so if I simply console.log, you can see a bunch of methods. So let's come here, let's console log this out, provider, and let's come back here in my localhost 3000. Let me do inspect element, and let me show you how it will look. So here I have my search console. I hope you guys can see this. Let me zoom this one, and here you can see that Etherscan provider. If I open this, in this you will find bunch of methods. Okay, so by default Etherscan provide you this API and API key, which allow you to fetch the information. As you can see, we are getting the data from Etherscan. So this is the one which is providing details about it, and here is a lot of functionality which you can see, and we're going to explain each one of these one by one. So this is the is provider, last block number, max filter block range, max internal block number, so host, and this is the chain ID, address. So there is a lot of things which we can cover. Okay, so let's come back to our applications. So and here you can also see in our console, we can easily able to see the data right in our console, so you don't need to go to the browser. And for example, I just want to show you one more thing. So if I want to fetch the information, if I want to fetch the balance of this account, how would I do that? So it's very easy, very easy. What I can do, I'll simply say take a variable, so I'll say BALANC, balance. Okay, and this time I'm going to use the provider. So the provider is this is the provider we are created, and we are using this Etherscan provider and all the functionality we have into these variables now. Okay, in this I will simply call get. When I type get, here you can see a bunch of methods get called, and these are the functions, these are the methods we can call on provider to fetch the information. So get avatar, get balance UR, get block number, block, and this block will get you the latest block, get block number, get block with transaction, get code, get ether price, get fee data, get gas fees, get history, get log, a bunch of methods. So I'm going to call each of these function one by one to show you that how you can utilize it. So let's call this balance one, and in this what I can do, I will simply use this address which we have here as a variable, and if I save it, if I come here, if I reload my browser, and here you can see, just give a moment, and here I have a couple of objects. So let's zoom out a bit so you guys can have a look. So as you can see, here I have the details. So this is the Etherscan provider. Okay, I have to log out the balance, not the provider. So let me change this one to provider, and let's come here, let me reload the page. It's automatically get to reload, and just wait. And here you can see I get a promise, and here you can see that I got this promise because I'm making an API call. And what I have to do is, let's do one thing. So let's convert this entire thing into an async function, because we're fetching information from the blockchain. So it's going to be a async function because the data would take time to arrive in our application. So we have to use async function for that. So I'll call ether.js. Okay, this is what I'm calling as a function. So it's going to be an async functions, and I'll take this arrow and I'm going to put this entire thing inside this async function. Okay, let's come here, let's paste this one, and because of this async function we are using, it's going to be a wait, because we want to wait, and let's call this function. So here we have a use state, and it's going to be a simply call this one, and inside this is going to be a dependent. So let's give this empty one because I want to call this function whenever we reload the browser. That's why I'm taking this way. And inside this I'm going to call this in this entire function. So let's call this functions, and let's see what's happening. And if I reload the page, and if I come here, as you can see, just wait, give a moment, and here we are getting the informations. as you can see this big number. Let me zoom this so you guys can see. Okay, let's come here. You can see this is the number we are getting. Let me expand this one, and here you can see hash. This is the balance and it's true. So this is, it's coming in big number. We have to convert it into Ethereum. Okay, so let's come back to our code editor, and here what I can do, let's convert that. So what I can do here, I can say take another variable. I'll say so balance, balance ce, not ve. So to convert this balance, what I can do, I'll take this ether and dot utils dot format ether, and in this I can simply pass the balance. Okay, and if I simply copy this and paste inside this, now let's copy one more time. Let's copy this and simply paste here, and we have to use await because it's going to be async functions. And here we are, and if I come back here in my browser and let's see the balance. So just a moment. So right now we are not getting anything, so it's so request expected. Okay, let's reload the browser one more time. Hope this time we'll get the data. No, nothing is happening. Let's remove this await and let's see what's causing that problem. Okay, here you can see where is the balance. So you can see 2741, and if I come to the Etherscan, this is the exact value. Okay, I lost the account, not a big deal. Let's take another account. So let's come here, let's take this one. This is the account I think we have taken. So as you can see 2743.7244. so this is the number you have to keep in mind. Let's come back to our local store. 2741, I think we have changed the account, so not a big deal. What we can do, simply come here, copy the account, and here we have to simply replace the account number, and we'll save it, and we can come back to our localhost 3000. Let's refresh this browser, and this time we'll get the data. Okay, we'll get the balance. So as you can see 2742, and if I come here, the balance is 2743. So this is how we can fetch the balance. Okay, as you can see, we got the balance. Now we can do a lot of things. So right now we are fetching the balance, and we can use more methods. So let's do that. Okay, so let's come here and let's take another variable, and I just call it check function, CTIN function. This is the variable name I'm giving, and it's going to be wait, and I will use the provider, and this time I'm going to call all this method. So I'll use get, and let's just explore one of each. Okay, so first let's call it get avatar, and in this let's come to the Etherscan. Let's go to the API. So where it is, so where we are now. So I think I have removed that one, so let's remove this couple of things, this one, and let's come here, let's open this ethers.js API. Let's come back here and let's read about it. So this is get avatar, so this is the method we are using. So let's come here and let's click and simply paste here, and here you will find the list of all the methods which you can call. So get avatar, and you can read more about it. Return an object that provide the URL of the avatar, and the linkage represent each stage in the avatar resolutions. So if you click on this here, it will show you that how you can call that function. So here is a get avatar. So it says return the URL of the avatar associated to the ENS name or null if no avatar was configured. So all you have to do is to find the name, and it will give you the URL. So right now we don't have any name. So is this a name? So let's copy this one. Maybe this is the ENS name, I guess. And if I come here and if I pass it inside this and let's save it, what we get, let's just have a look, and we are getting nothing. So we have to have a valid name, so then we can easily able to call this avatar function. But you will find that most of the applications we don't require these functions. Okay, so let's remove this one and let's call the other function. So simply type get, and here we can use this block. So let's click on block, and this will return the block number of Ethereum blockchain. So let's come here and let's go to the API and search for get block, and just wait. So let's search it. So a lot of methods you can call. So let's click on this block and let's explore one by one. So in this, what we have to pass the block number. Okay, so let's come to the Etherscan and let's go here, and here you can find this is the block number, and right now this block number has 342 transactions. So let me do one thing. Let me open this into a new tab so we can compare the data which we are getting, and this is the block number. Simply copy this block number, and that's what we have to provide here. So if I come and if I simply console log this out, okay, without passing any argument, if I console log out this, so I'll get the latest block. Okay, I'll say check functions. So let me comment out this, and if I call in this way, I'll get the latest block which is created on Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so let's come here, let's go to this and let's reload the application and just wait, because the data will take time to arrive, and I guess something's missing. Okay, and we have used this provider await, and I guess we have to provide the block number as well. Okay, not a big deal. What we can do, we can simply pass the block number, and let's come here and let's reload the page. We will give a moment and it will come, the data will arrive. Sometimes it takes time, and here you can see, here we have the data. Okay, so here we have the data about the block number we have taken from here, and if I expand this, as you can see, it took a lot of time because this data is coming directly from mainnet. Okay, it's coming from mainnet, and that's why it's take a little bit time. And here you can find all the information about the block. So this is the hash number. So let's do one thing. Let me come here, let me bring this here so we can easily able to compare the data, and let's expand this and let's make this up so we can see what we are working on. Okay, let's bring this as well. So here you can see this is the hash number. So let's come up here, here you will have the hash. Let's expand this, and this is the hash. As you can see, 0xe4d1 and 0xe4d1. so this is the hash, and in that you will find all the details, the timestamp when this block was created, the nuance. Okay, and here you will find base fee per gas, the amount of gas the user have to pay for having a transaction, difficulty, like extra data, gas limit, gas use, and you can see a lot of data you are getting. So if you want to create an application like Etherscan, you can simply use this data. You can see the number of the block number, and you can see the present hash and timestamp, and inside this you will have this transaction list of all the transactions. So currently it has 324 transactions, and let's see how many transactions it's contained. As you can see, same amount of transaction is there. So this data is coming from blockchains. So this is the data we have, and what we can do with this data. Okay, so let's bring this back. Okay, let's bring this here and let's expand this one. So we know that our provider is working, and we can easily able to fetch all the information about the block. Sorry. So if I want to print anything, any data right on our front-end applications, for example, I want to display the name number of the block, so I can do in this way very easily. So all the data is right inside this get check function. So what I can do, I can take another variables, and this time I'll say simply number, and this data inside this one. So I'll say I can do in this way, I can check dot number, and here you can see I'll simply console log this out. If I console log, simply console dot log number, let's see what I will get. This is what I have, and let's come here, and here you can see it will refresh, and I guess I will get the data now. Not yet. Yes, I got it. It took a little bit time because, as I told you, that it's coming right from blockchains. So this is the one which is coming from line number 13. This is from here. This is the console logout, and this is the balance we are extracting from this. Okay, and we are storing into this state, into this number. So what you can do, you can simply create a state variables. Let me show you how you can do it. So what if I want to print this entire transaction? So all the transaction which I have inside this and this one, okay, and this one I have this. What I can do, I can simply copy this and I can come here, replace this, and let's print this one. Number is already there. Now let me hide this one. Let's come here back and let's reload it. I want to get the all transaction which is happening inside the block, okay, and I want to display right in my front-end application. So that's how I can do it. I'm deconstructing the data from this check functions as a transaction. So just wait. As you can see, right now we have 324 data transaction and it's coming in form of array. So what we can do, let me show you what we can do. I can simply take this data which is inside this. I'll come up here and I'll take a use state because we have already that use state snippet, and I'll say, let's say transacti1 transactions, and it's going to be an array. Okay, initially we don't have anything, so all the transaction which is right up here, and I want to push this transaction inside this transaction. So right now the transaction is in this, so I'm going to use this one. So I'll say set transaction, and in this I will pass this number and I will simply console log this out. Okay, console, and I'll say number, not number, I'll say transaction, because right now we have all the data into this because we have used this set transactions. Okay, if I save it, if I come back here, let me reload the page and just wait for a little moment because this data is coming from right blockchains. That's why it's taking a bit time. So here you can see it's loading, keep loading, but right now we haven't finally the data is arrived. And there is, you can see that the first time it load we have nothing in this because the data is haven't arrived. That's why we got an empty array. In the second time we got an empty array, in third time we got an empty array, fourth time we got an empty array, but in the fifth time finally the data is arrived and it's inside the transactions. So what I can do, the data is inside this check functions, so I can simply come up here and here I will take a dynamic block. So I want to display right up here. So what I can do, I'll take a let's say dynamic block, and I say I have the transactions dot map. I want to loop over the entire transaction and display. So what I can do, I can just take lm and I will take the index of it, and it's going to be instant returns. I'm not going to create a thing, it's going to be instant returns. I have to wrap this inside another bracket, and here we'll have another one. So right now let's look good. I'm going to take a div. Okay, I'll take a div, and okay, no, why it's not happening. I'll take a div and I have to type it manually. So div, okay, what is this, div, and it will have a, not, it will have a, let's say it will have a key, otherwise this will, the React will start complaining. Okay, so I'll say +1 because I want to start from 1, and in this I want to simply take a h6 tag and I want to render the transactions lm. That's what I want to render. I want to render each of these transactions. So the moment I will say, we will see that we have our data right in our front-end applications. So just wait. Again, it will take a little bit time because the data is taking time to arrive, and it will display right up here. So just wait and let the things get completed. Right now we don't have any error, and here you can see finally we have all the transactions right in our front-end applications. All the transaction we have in our front-end applications, all the transaction we can easily able to display right here in our browser. I hope you guys can see it. Okay, so all the transactions, that's we can do it. So you can see that how easy it becomes. You can easily able to create a site like this. Like if you want to take the timestamp, so here let's come back here, and instead of consoling log this out, let me log the actual data. So this is the data we have here. I don't want to log out this, but no, I want to log out this number because they're all the data we have. And simply I'll paste this one and I'll come back once again. I'm going to reload the browser and just wait. We'll have the entire account, all the transaction details right in the browser, but I want to see something else. So here we have the transaction details, and I still am displaying the transaction. Why? So this is the transaction. Okay, I have to call this function, check function. Check function I have to call. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so I hope you are learning something new, how you can interact with your Ethers.js application, Ethers.js package to play around it, okay, to see the information. So here you can see we have successfully extracted the transaction detail. We can easily able to extract the timestamp, present, number, nuance, miner, the person who mined this application. So you can see how easy it becomes to fetch the data and how easy it becomes. Okay, so this is how we can easily able to get the data of the block. And so this is the one. Now let's come to the Etherscan, and this is for the get block. Now let's explore other things. So this is the get balance. We have already seen get code. Okay, so let's see what it is, what this get code is. So return the contract code of the address as of the block tag, block height. If there is no contract currently deploy, the result will be 0. So when you use this get code, so it will give you the contract code. So if any account deploy any contract on Ethereum blockchains, you can easily able to get that contract data. If there is no account, you will get 0. Okay, so as you can see, we have to call this function. So we copy it. Okay, and let's come back to our code editor. So right now we are calling this functions. What I can do, I can simply come here. I'm going to leave it as it is, and here I'm going to call this. Okay, and instead of passing the block number, I have to pass the address of the contract. So we're going to use this address, and let's check that is there any contract deploy by this account. So this time say Untitled contract, and I'm going to console log this out. Okay, simply paste this one and simply save it, come back to the browser. It's reloading, and let's try to fetch the data around the contract. So it's taking, so currently it's saying that 0x bit, that means, so currently it's saying 0x means there is no contract deployed by this account, and that's what you can able to find here. As you can see, it will return the result is going to be 0x, means there is no contract deployed by this account. Okay, so this is one method, and here you will have a lot of methods. We're going to cover each one of this. Okay, and here get code, get storage, and if you want to get the transaction count, so these are going to be the same, like these are going to be the same. So what you can do, if I cover each one of these, is going to take a long time to, it will take, this video will get very long. If I simply copy this one, and let me show you what it is, and if I simply paste here, and let's come here and let's see what it needs. Okay, so in this you have to provide the block number. Okay, block number you have to provide to get the data. Simply copy this and paste here, and we already have displaying that as a contract. Save it, come back here in our localhost 3000, and let's see, wait for a few seconds to load, get the data load, and here you have the transaction, and here you have the data. As you can see, it looks like same. Okay, and it will give you the list of all the transactions which is happening here. As you can see, the list of all the transactions, and that's what we are displaying. Okay, right up here. So it's on the 14, line number 14, and this data is also coming from line number 19. So let's see what we are doing here. So we are consoling out the contract. Okay, so here we can able to find the entire, it will give you the same thing, it will give you the complete detail about the block. Okay, so instead of using this, you can use this simple block number, and from there you can easily able to extract the data. So that's the other functionality. So I must tell you to come and explore each one of this, because these are the method you can call on your provider, and you can see the data you can able to fetch from the blockchain on the base of the provider. And this is the signer. So what the signer is, so when you suppose you have a NFT marketplace and users are creating their account, creating NFT, so they are becoming signer on your applications. So you can create a special method so they can easily able to get their data, their transaction count. So it's going to be similar, quite similar to that. Okay, so that's how you can able to fetch it. Okay, there is no complex, it's very easy. All you have to do is to come here, open it, and simply call the required function. So if you want to get the block number, okay, so let's come here and let's see this transaction response. So this is the transaction block, and let's see what it does. So the number height of the block with transaction was mined in if the block has not been mined in this null. So if you plot, so suppose if you use this method and if you provide any block number, and if that block number is mined, then it will give you the information about the block in the highest form, okay? And if it's not mined, then it will simply return you none. So that's very simple. If you want to get the transaction time, you can simply deconstruct the transaction and use the timestamp. So you can easily able to get the timestamp of that. So same thing is written. If the timestamp is there, then you can easily able to draw the data, okay? So that these all methods you can call on transactions. So you can just look at it, all the method you can call it. This is you can call on receipt. So when the transaction is happening, so when the payment was received, that's all method is there. So these are the things which you can call. Let's come to the provider, because this is a section we use a lot, because we want to fetch the information and show the data right in the application. So most of the time you will be working in this provider sections. Once you will work on this provider API, once you create the application, and most of the time you're going to use all these methods. So in the account methods, let's come here. You will have a get balance, get code, get sorted. So it will need a address and it will need a props, okay? So that's how what you have to provide, the index you have to provide. So this is what you will get in return. So if you call this get transaction count, all you have to do is provide this address, and this is the number you will get. So what you have to do when you call this provider, and you will provide the address. So let me show you, instead of explaining, let me show you how it's works. So if I come here and let's come back to my code editor, I can simply come refresh this, and here I'm going to pass the address. So address here. So this is the address, and this will simply return me the transaction number which has happened in this account, okay? So if I save it, if I come here, go to my localhost 3000 and just wait, let the data arrive. It will take a little bit time, and here you can see the transactions happen in this account. So this is really huge. So 343534918. So there's a lot of transactions happening with this account, and that's all you can able to find here. So that's what this method is. Very simple, very easy. So all you have to do is to pass the address, and you can get the count number of transaction happens. We have already seen the block. It will give you all the details about the block. Get block with transaction. So simply you have to pass the block name, and here you will get the entire details of the block. And here is the Ethereum naming service, which you don't need to worry about it, because okay, most of the time you don't need to work. But when you're building a large scale application where you're going to use it, but right now it's not needed, okay? For all of you guys, look up. So everything is explained beautifully. You can come here and you can check. It's very simple, and that's all method you can call. All you have to do is to use await, use async function, await, provider, and the method, and the requirement it's need. So if you want to pass this account, sometimes it asks you to pass the name, sometimes it asks you to pass the block number, transaction counts. So that's all you can do, and copy from here and you can paste it, okay? And here you will have a RCP provider. So if you want to connect, you can see that what are the things you need to provide. So if you want to connect with JSON RPC provider, here you have to provide the URL and the network. As you can see, we have already discussed about the get Rinky by test network. So there is a lot of things, so you can easily able to get from here. And here you can call a couple of methods. So you can use this connection, get signer, check and list account. So all this method you can call. So no matter which provider you are using, whenever you use any one of these provider, you will have this method to get the data. It's basically getting data from blockchain, which in a multiple way. You can get in the simple way, you can use get in multiple way. So everything is explained very easily. I hope you would have found this video valuable. If you have any questions, any doubt, leave in the comment section. So before I end this video, I just want to tell you one thing, that must read this document. It's very easy and everything is explained beautifully. All you have to do is to click on get started, and there you can able to find that how you can install and how you can utilize it in your applications. All the methods, all they have, everything they have explained, that how you can connect with your MetaMask, how you can connect to Ethereum RPC contract and message signing, okay? So this is for the get started. Now we have a basic information about Ethereum, so you can call it, that how you can call the events, how you can call the gas. So as you can see how much gas you have to pay when you run your contract on Ethereum blockchain. So they have explained here. So let me give you a quick overview. So gas is basically a transaction fee you have to pay to run any command on Ethereum blockchain. So if you have a contract and you want to deploy your contract on Ethereum blockchains. So when you deploy that, you have to pay the gas, okay, and that gas price will decide according to the current, that how many transaction is happening on the base of the priority. That's what they have written. The price, the gas price is used somehow like a bid, so it's a bidding system indicating an amount you are willing to pay. So the amount you want to pay, on base of that you have to pay the gas fees per unit of the execution to have your transaction process. So on the per unit you have to pay the transaction. So it's very simple. Basically it's a bidding system because a lot of transaction is happening at a single time. In Ethereum, what happens, you can make a limited number of transaction in 1 second, and there are a lot of users using Ethereum blockchain node for doing the transaction. So Ethereum's provide a limit number of transaction in a second, so all the transaction get stuck in a queue and pass one by one. So that's why if you want to execute your contract faster, you have to pay a higher gas fees, so you will come out of that queue and your contract will run fast. So it's on the bidding system, okay. So if you see the, come here, open it and open and type number of transaction can be done Ethereum, simple like Ethereum, Ethereum. You can type short, and here you can able to find everything, that how many transaction you can make. So here you can see simply, so where it is, it's a Quora answer. Let's come back here. So here you can see, here I have written that Ethereum, right now Ethereum can only handle around 30 transactions per second. So only 30 transaction is possible right this moment. So that's why you have to, it's in the bidding form, so you have to pay the gas. So everything is there. I must tell you to read the documentation before you start using it, and everything is listed in beautifully. You can easily able to find every single functionality which you want to call it, and you can check it. And they have also given a couple of sample codes which you can review and try to understand that how they have written their smart contract, how they are communicating with their MetaMask. So if I come into this documentation section, and if I go to this let's say basic Ethereum, and if I go to this one, let's search for provider, provider, and if I want to call any functions, whether I want to call on contract, whether I want to call on RC20 tokens, I can do it. So here they have provided every single thing, Infura provider. So all you have to do is simply call this method, start with new keyword, ether provider, and the provider name. So right now I'm using a global provider, which is a Etherscan provider. If you want to use any specific one, this is how you can call it, and you can use it in your applications. So hope you have found this video valuable. If you have any questions, any doubt, leave in the comment section. I try to explain everything. And I must tell you that if you want to step into the blockchain or Ethereum application development, and you want to be a Ethereum developer, then you must go through this Etherscan, ethers.js API documentation, because this is the one which allow you to communicate with your Ethereum blockchain node, and you can be able to run your contract. So it's like a bridge which connects from your front-end application to a Ethereum blockchain node and act like a bridge, so your smart contract can communicate front and backward, okay. So it will communicate like that. So that's it in this video. Hope you have found this valuable. If you have any question, leave in the comment section. I would love to explain everything about it. And if you have any doubt, and if you want me to cover any specific topic from this API, do leave in this comment sections. Come to here, explore everything. And if you not understand anything, leave in the comment section, so I can make a video on that with a specific topic, on that with examples, so everything get clear. So for the time being, that's it. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.